Hello and welcome to NTA Nationwide. I am Jumba Yusuf. Let's begin with political and electoral matters as Senator Ademola Adeleke and his deputy Sunday Adewusi have taken the oath of office administered by the Chief Justice of the state, Justice Adeleke Ojo. Governor Ademola Adeleke, while addressing the people of Osun and beyond, reversed all decisions taken without due process by the immediate past administration of Boyega Oyetola with effect from July 17 this year, as well as immediate freezing of state accounts. Governor Adeleke, while assuring the people of his commitment to promises made during electioneering, solicits the cooperation of other arms of government, as he also promises to ensure local government autonomy in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Immediate freezing of all government accounts in banks and other financial institutions. 2. Immediate establishment of a panel to carry out an inventory and recover all government assets. 3. An immediate establishment of a panel to review all appointments and better decisions of the immediate past administration taken after 17 July 2022. And immediate reversal to the constitutional recognized name of our state, Osun State.
The presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and running mate Ifeanyi Okowa graced the inauguration at the Osogbo Township Stadium among other party stalwarts across the country. The New Nigeria People's Party street-to-street campaign is yielding results, with more residents of the FCT pledging their support for the party. The FCT Working Committee and senatorial candidate of the party, Mubarak Tijani, who led the campaign, expressed optimism that the party's presidential blueprint will address all the key challenges the nation is currently facing. The free education policy of the NNPP, they promised, will put an end to the growing number of out-of-school children, with a promise to boost small micro businesses to drive the nation's economic growth. The Kubasa office of the party was also unveiled during the campaign. Young politicians who aspired for various offices during party primaries ahead of the 2023 general elections are forming a common front across party lines to push for better governance and emergence of a new Nigeria. Their target is to have a major stake in the governance process of the country in the next administration. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Though they are all politicians and one thing in common, the indivisibility of Nigeria, young politicians who have contested for political offices with others on the ballot for various political offices in the 2023 general elections, they want to be taken seriously by the older generation of politicians.
We must not give up on what we started in 2019. We must keep fighting, irrespective of whether we belong to the same political party or not. We must see ourselves as patriots in a battle to reform Nigeria.
The message appears to be getting through to those present at this meeting that younger politicians have a critical role to play in nation building.
All of the struggles that we do today, deep in our hearts, we know that we may not necessarily be the beneficiaries. But even though it is a way or a pathway that we're trying to define for the generations unborn or behind us, so that they may have a better Nigeria.
Issue-based and non-violence 2023 general elections remain priority for the youth. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The Nigerian police force has arrested some individuals found to be in illegal possession of voters' cards in some states of the Federation. A statement by ANEC National Commissioner for Information, Festus Okoye, indicates that the police has concluded investigation in one case and handed over the file to INEC, resulting in the successful prosecution of one Nasiru Idris at a magistrate court in Sokoto, who was found to be in possession of 101 PVCs and has been sentenced to 1 year in prison. Similarly, the police in Kano State has arrested a man who was found to be in possession of 365 PVCs. The suspect has been charged to court and the commission is pursuing his prosecution. Meanwhile, with the successful display of the voters' register, INEC is set to come up with detailed arrangement for the collection of PVCs. Now, Nigerians have been tasked to enhance peace dialogues across communities with a view to understanding conflict dynamics and promoting social cohesion ahead of 2023 elections. This was the thrust of an inclusive security dialogue held in Abuja by the Global Peace Foundation and Vision Africa. Austin Ayabe reports.
While electioneering campaigns are on, they are meeting with an audience to propagate peace through constant dialogues, as this will give rise to increased positive relationship between the government and various agitating groups across the country.
Nigeria presently requires leaders who can deliver, not people who are going to be elected on the basis of the religion they practice.
Make sure that if somebody wants to hire you for irresponsible and illegitimate action, say no to it, and know that this country belongs to you, belongs to all of us, and you cannot be used as a tool for violence.
Political actors use these young people. They use them as tools to achieve their own goal. They don't care about these young people. These young people have potentials. And what we are trying to let them understand that is that their dignity cannot be compromised.
The security dialogue, which had brought together community leaders representing various militia and agitating groups in Nigeria, had unbundled barriers to peace and security, requiring continuous follow-up. The two-day dialogue also featured a cross-section of youth organizations in Nigeria who are recognized as meaningful drivers of change at all levels of conflict prevention and peace building. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
Nigerians must brace up for the 2023 elections to usher in the right leadership that would meet their numerous yearnings through the ballot. Asabe Williams reports that this was stated at the Thanksgiving service at the Evangelical Church of West Africa, Wuse 2, where messages of hope, gratitude, and the salvation of the nation dominate worship.
A natural tendency to think about gratitude in the final quarter of the year, and ECWA is not left out, as this crucial service in the presence of God was about praise and thanksgiving. Examples abound in the Bible, which shows the importance and power of giving God thanks, like Hannah sang the song of thanksgiving when God answered her unspoken prayer for his son after years of barrenness.
The importance of getting together is to show God appreciation.
All that we have is from Him, so we should give back to Him in appreciation of what He has given us.
Taking his text from Psalm chapter 103 verse 2, Right Reverend Duke Akamisoko buttresses the need for thanksgiving very close to elections, an opportunity for Nigerians to decide the kind of nation they desire by casting their votes.
We should pray, we should be involved, we should get our PVC ready and make sure that we are involved with prayers to get the right people in leadership.
Thanksgiving is so important because it gives us opportunity to express gratitude to our God.
Scriptural references demonstrates the importance and power of being grateful in Abuja. Asabe Williams, NTA News.
Adiola is standing by from our Lagos studio with more reports. Hello, Adiola.
Hello, Jumai. Good to see you. The scarcity of fuel in Lagos will soon be a thing of the past. While looking forward to that, motorists decry the attitude of some filling station operators who sell far above the pump price. Annie Daniels has the details.
While some filling stations in Lagos are busy with activities, others are not.
Why some people normally say some people are they are holding fuel.
And for this filling station with the product, it's arguments all the way.
The fuel is not supplying the way it is. Sometimes you get out, you may see fuel to buy, you may not see to.
But the most unfortunate thing is that if after spending long hours to get the fuel, you still burn the fuel in traffic caused by fuel queue.
Now the queues may not be as much as they were 2-3 days ago. Some motorists still complain about one thing: the price of a liter of fuel.
Those people at Shomolu, Bariga and other places, they are selling beyond 200 to 220 per liter. That's why people are rushing to come to this side.
Wow, unfortunately I didn't look at the meter, but I just bought 4-5 Nigerian each.
The official price are probably not displayed. And when displayed, when you get to the pump, they will tell you the actual price they're going to sell to you.
There are indications, however, that sooner than expected, petrol scarcity will disappear from the city.
You can see you have the staging. After the staging, they will start selling at 169 naira per liter.
While looking forward to that, Lagosians wish regulatory agencies will do the needful to dissuade petrol station operators from engaging in shady deals. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
For an all-inclusive participation in the 2023 general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has organized a one-day stakeholders forum to discuss avenues to get everyone involved in the coming general elections. Adobe Obiechina reports that the forum was targeted at meeting the electoral demands of the vulnerable in the society.
With the general elections coming up soon, the need for individuals and stakeholders to brainstorm on how to get citizens involved in electoral processes and exercise their franchise prompted Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to organize a forum where civil society organizations come together to educate the electorate and stakeholders alike. This, some participants say, has broadened their knowledge on the innovations the Commission has put in place to ensure that no one is left behind in the process.
Before I took a lot of these things for granted, but now I am convinced that obviously I have to be part and parcel of the voting process.
We also liaise with INEC to put the polling booths or the PVC center close to their homes so that these women are escorted out to get their PVC.
Representative of the INEC chairman, Professor Kunle Ajayi, and the keynote speaker, Professor Christopher Oluwadare, say the forum is to look inward and discuss means to have a free and fair election come next year.
Here, as part of INEC preparations for the 2023 general elections, you know, we have a policy INEC, the policy of inclusivity, that is ensuring that everybody is mobilized and carried along in the electoral process, particularly the vulnerables.
We are in the era of assistive materials now, technology-backed electoral process, which has also improved the acceptability and also the transparency of election results and outcomes. It has equally reduced violence, so to speak.
The event brought together several civil society organizations and stakeholders across the state. In Lagos, Adobe Obiechina, NTA News.
And those other reports from Lagos, Jos is where we will go next, where Felicia is waiting. But before we hand you over to Jos, do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other verified social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. To stay on, Nationwide will continue soon.
Next PMB Administration Scorecard Series will feature the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar. Date Monday, November 28th, 2022. Time 10:30 a.m. Venue National Press Center, Radio House, Abuja. The event will be covered live by NTA, FRCN and VON and streamed on the social media handles of the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jafia, MNI, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. A new edition of TV Guide is out, featuring an impeccable personality with purposeful leadership. Alhaji Muhammad Mitakobi, the Executive National President of Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria.
In 774 local governments, will be able to put all our structures in everywhere. I'll be able to bring the returns members together to reconcile them to come and work for the progress of the association.
Welcome to a world of fun and excitement as we also present an assemblage of professionals in the media space. Some compelling NTA programs, current trends in the fashion world, ICT, sports, entertainment, and lots more. Get a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
So, it's life. Once you lose hope, you lose life. Once people get lifted to a certain level, they start feeling godlike. What would you attribute this backwardness in education to if they're not to date?
What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
And the program is reflection.
You're still on to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Jos. Governor Simon Lalong says training and retraining of personnel of the armed forces are imperative in combating security challenges. This was while receiving participants of Senior Course 45 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji. Priscilla Grumnan has more.
This study group consisting of 51 participants, including foreign students from Tanzania, Bangladesh, Congo-Brazzaville, Malawi, and Ghana, is in Plateau State to explore its theme of study, which is youth unemployment and internal security. Team leader of the study tour, who is also the director of joint studies of the college, Brigadier General Ibrahim Ponsak Bindu, tells Governor Lalong that the study aims to highlight the causes and challenges of unemployment among the youth, which can also be a trigger to criminality among them, with a view to charting a course forward.
This stage is doing a lot in the area of empowering the youth. And so we want to dig deeper and be able to at least communicate that to the wider audience to know what the state is doing.
Governor Simon Lalong expresses delight at the timeliness of the study tour, which he believes will go a long way in addressing some of the socio-economic challenges.
We require a lot of training and retraining of our officers. We have to meet up with the challenges of the insecurity that we have seen in this nation.
While commending the Nigerian Armed Forces for doing its best in securing the internal security of the nation, he says the Northern Governors Forum under his leadership is at the forefront of championing the cause of security strategies that will bring the challenges of insecurity to its knees. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Plateau State government says the priority accorded education sector over the years is as a result of its role in the socio-economic and manpower development. He stated this in Jos while meeting with the members of the Governing Council of the Plateau State University Bokos. Priscilla Grumnan again has details.
Members of the Governing Council of the Plateau State University, led by its Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, Monsignor Obiora Ike, says the visit is to appreciate Governor Lalong for the massive transformation being witnessed in the institution, which he attributes to his passion for the development of education in the state. Monsignor Obiora also appeals to the governor to ensure a more secure environment for the institution while doing more towards the welfare of staff.
You supported that to have 3 billion naira donated by Tech Fund. The structures are in place. With your support, the university is opening 4 new faculties.
Governor Simon Lalong, who appreciates the visit, thanks members of the Governing Council for working tirelessly to ensuring that Plateau State University becomes a world-class citadel of learning. While restating government's resolve to prioritizing education, he assures that more support will be given to the institution and also ensure a befitting convocation in January 2023.
In Plateau State, we have more than 2 or 3 universities. We have the Calhoun University. We have the Annan University. We have converted our College of Education, federal government, into a university. Interest is not even enough, but we're still struggling for more.
In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
And that's the update from Jos. Jume is back to you in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Felicia. Back in Abuja, 8 months after the suspension of operations of the Abuja-Kaduna Standard Train Services, the Minister of Transportation, Muazu Jaji Sambo, says movement will not start until intending passengers are familiar with the new measures introduced in the purchasing of the ticket. The minister made this known while on an assessment tour in the train from Idu Station in Abuja to Rigasa in Kaduna. Details of the report will come to you in our subsequent bulletin. Now let's talk security. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, at this year's Artillery Corps training in Kachia, Kaduna State, says remnants of bandits, kidnappers and other criminal elements in the country will be smoked out from their hideouts before next year's general elections. Omar Anjigi reports.
The week-long military training, which is an annual event, is designed to expose officers on many modern military warfare and other military tactics. The Chief of Army Staff said military and other security agencies are making serious inroads into the enclaves of these criminals. He said the deployment of security agencies in the country will be pursued with vigor, with a view to securing the nation from the clutches of merchants of conflicts.
Revisit our operations and deploy more appropriate skills every time against the adversary so that we can defeat that and now have peace and security in the country, and also provide enabling environment for the upcoming 2023 general elections. Bandits, criminals, terrorists, kidnappers, all of them, anywhere they can be, anywhere they will be, we will get them.
Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya assured Nigerians of scared nation before the conduct of next year's general elections. In Kaduna, Umar Jingi, NTA News.
More than 3,000 small and light arms recovered from suspects have been destroyed. National Center for the Control of Small and Light Arms, which decommissioned the arms, decried their proliferation, which continued to escalate insecurity across the country. Haruna Mohammed reports.
Light weapons recovered include den gun, AK-47 rifles, and general multipurpose guns, mopped up through coordinated effort by various security agencies. These weapons were largely recovered from non-state actors in the southeast, south-south, northwest, and north-central. The destruction exercise, led by the national coordinator of the center, Major General Muhammad Diku, in company of heads of security agencies in Kaduna, is part of the ongoing effort by the Office of the National Security Advisor to stem the tide of small and light arms in the country.
Support the government and, by extension, the security agencies in our fight to defeat criminality, terrorism, banditry, and all forms of behaviors that threaten our national cohesion and well-being.
Efforts have reached advanced stages to create a robust database of all gunsmiths and other related artisanal tradesmen in the country with a view to establishing a regulatory regime for their activities or integrating them into the state weapon production architecture.
The National Center for Control of Small and Light Weapons is carrying out its mandate in fulfillment of the ECOWAS Charter to make Africa's sub-region free of influx and fabrications of destructive illicit firearms. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
The Nigeria Immigration Service Ogun State Command has paraded 33 foreign nationals from Republic of Chad and Republic of Togo for allegedly running illegal online businesses at submarine Obatako axis of Abeokuta. The suspects were apprehended and paraded at the state headquarters Oke Mosan by Comptroller of Immigration in Ogun State Yakubu Jibrin. Observing that their ages range between 22 and 29, the immigration boss said they were apprehended based on intelligence report, as the leader of the gang disclosed that they have been on an illegal online business for some time. And to ameliorate the sufferings of Cameroonian refugees in Nigeria, the Consulate of Cameroon in Calabar has commenced the distribution of palliatives to about 850 Cameroonian refugees in Calabar. Odi Alayon reports that the distribution is the fifth phase of humanitarian assistance to the Cameroonian refugees in Cross River State. The report.
Cameroonian refugees have been taking refuge in Cross River State after political face-off in the country. The beneficiaries, who were seen visibly happy for the gesture, urged the governments of their home country to create an enabling environment for them to return to their ancestral homes.
So I'm very happy to get this one. So I give thanks to our consulate and all his cabinet under him and our president that they have done good for us.
I was not expecting this, but I'm so much happy with Cameroon government for them taking care of us here in Nigeria. I really appreciate.
The Consul of Cameroon in Calabar, Onana Patrick, and the President Cameroon Community in Nigeria, Calabar Branch, Martin Etonge, charged refugees to remain law-abiding and not to engage in any negative activities that will put the consulate and their country in bad light.
Our intention is that to address to them that things are improving in Cameroon in terms of peace and security, and many of them should think to go back.
The consulate haven't recognized that part of the community leadership, and also to talk to our refugee brothers and sisters not to engage themselves into anything that would be inimical to the name of Cameroonians.
The palliative is part of the President of the Republic of Cameroon, Paul Biya's special assistance to Cameroon refugees in Nigeria. In Calabar, Ode Alenyo, NTA News.
The Cross River State government is leaving nothing to chance in its swift response to the upsurge of crime and kidnappings in the state. In this report, Paul Abel takes a look at the likely causes of this negative trend and what the state government is doing to curtail the reoccurrence of the menace.
Space of 2 days, 9 and 6 abducted victims have been rescued from the den of kidnappers in separate operations along the Uyanga axis of the Akampa-Ikom Federal Highway. The resurgence of kidnapping in the state after a relatively long period where the criminality was curtailed may have induced the prompt Security Council meeting held behind closed doors between the Cross River State Governor, Professor Ben Ayade, service commanders and heads of other security agencies as they strategize towards holistic security in the state. To this end, the state government is sounding a note of warning to all criminals as the state will not be conducive for any form of crime to thrive.
To address that issue, to making sure that the intervention and everything that is in favor of criminals is removed, is focused and is removed, so that the roads right from that is they will be free.
Despite the recent security development, which has now been put under check, the state security advisor maintained that visitors should not entertain any atom of fear, as Cross River State remains one of the most peaceful and safest states in Nigeria. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Lugasa train station in Kaduna State is wearing a new look as preparations for the resumption of the Kaduna-Abuja train service heightens. The train service between Kaduna and Abuja is expected to resume on Monday, 28th November 2022, and the passenger train from Kaduna to Abuja is already stationed and is expected to leave Kaduna at 8 o'clock in the morning. Staff and other service providers have been putting necessary facilities on ground for the smooth commencement. Haruna Mohammed reports that Rigasa communities and those surviving on the system are excited and looking forward to Monday's resumption of rail activities. The Kaduna-Abuja train service was suspended about 8 months ago following attacks on Abuja-Kaduna bound train by bandits. Let's now join Chine for more reports from Enugu. Chine, it's good to see you.
Thank you so much, Jume. Welcome to Enugu. The Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria advocates peaceful coexistence to further reduce the psychological torture many Nigerians go through as a result of security threats. That was the topical issue on agenda during its 53rd Annual General and Scientific Meeting, Coal City 2022, a 3-day event hosted by the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Enugu. Comfort Ayim reports.
It is no longer news that Nigeria is faced with unprecedented level of criminality, which has forced many to flee their ancestral homes and familiar environment. While the federal government seeks solution to restore adequate security in the country, Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria is worried over the serious security threat to the collective national development of the country and its negative impact on the optimal mental health of Nigerians, especially the internally displaced.
And this will assist in the further understanding optimal mental health and well-being of Nigerians are being impacted by this. So during this conference, we prefer solutions to the myriad of problems and further stimulate us, both government and all stakeholders involved in addressing these challenges.
Guest speakers, including the governor of Enugu State, though represented, shed more light on the need to promote and sustain mental health in the face of these challenges. Insecurity and forced displacement, mental health and psychological implication is the theme of the event, with the sub-theme, child and maternal mental health in a conflict situation.
It's causing a lot of burden on mental health of Nigerians, because our mental health is our wealth.
APN is an umbrella body of Nigerian psychiatrists and allied mental health professionals working in Nigeria and diaspora. In Enugu, Comfort, I am NTA News.
Following the recent invasion and killing of indigenes of Ehamufu communities in Enugu State, the state governor, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, has visited the affected communities for a first-hand information on the incident. He was accompanied on the visit by heads of some security agencies and religious leaders in the state. Susan Eze reports.
On a fact-finding mission, Governor Ugwuanyi took a tour of the affected communities in Ehamufu, Issues or local government area of Enugu State, visiting markets, forests, the village squares, and other locations, asking questions to ascertain the remote and immediate causes of the herders farmers crisis, which in this incident resulted in the killing of about 10 indigenes by suspected herders. The people appreciated the visit, considering it was already late in the evening. The gesture, they said, was a demonstration of the governor's commitment to ending the farmers' herders' issues in their community.
12 community that is pledged to that place the source of our food, every living being in this community. All the rice, cassava, yams have been planted there. And without appropriate security now, they cannot harvest.
They were grateful to the governor for the release of 10 million naira for the immediate rehabilitation of victims and other interventions. Governor Ugwuanyi empathized with the people, assuring them that government will not rest until the crisis is permanently solved. The State Commissioner of Police, CP Ahmed Amani, the 82 Division Garrison Commander Brigadier General Ibrahim, and the Anglican Bishop of Nikedasi, Right Reverend Christian Onya, accompanied the governor on the visit. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Do not forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at www.nta.ng/live and on all our social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. We'll take another break here. Nationwide, we continue with Nana Aisha in Sokoto. We'll stay.
Elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
You think I don't know why you brought me to that place? You humiliate me?
Mama?
Put me back there. Give me that. Expect the pastor's telling me it's broke. Women need a bit of tapping. Don't tell me you're one of those men that beat their wives.
You slapped me. Super story, super story, super story. This is super story. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the moment we've been waiting. It's time to rise up
do it again. Africa, do your dance now. God, do your winning dance now. So we never lose it again. We can rise up, yes, we gon' rise up, Africa rise up, Africa rise up, yes, we gon' rise up, Africa rise up.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sokoto. Participants at a 3-week training on ARCP project in Sokoto State have been called upon to understand the program for its successful implementation to the target beneficiaries in the state. This was at the flag off of the 3-week training of youth facilitators of the ARCP program. Sheikh Muhammad Detti reports.
1,050 facilitators drawn from 23 local government areas in Sokoto State are attending the 3-week training on at-risk children, a federal and state government's project on social intervention program for the children from the age of 1 to 24 in the state. That is with a view to addressing problems of children dropout by educating them to be self-reliant. Social advisor to the federal government on social intervention program, Mariam Uwais, represented by Special Advisor Legal Isa Ahmad Musa, said 50,000 vulnerable persons are expected to benefit from the program in Sokoto State out of the 5 million targeted, pledging sustainability of the program. Secretary to Sokoto State Government, Muhammad Minister Ahmad, represented by Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Women and Children Affairs, Aisha Muhammad Ansoho, said Sokoto State has donated 500 million naira in 2022 to complement efforts of the federal government.
There are some demonstrations, particularly in Sokoto State, that the at-risk children project had been clearly captured under the budget.
It's for them to also build themselves, build their capacity.
Permanent Secretary, Sokoto State Ministry for Budget and Economic Planning, Osman Arzikabo Inga, outlined series of projects executed by the present administration in the state. He debunked recent indices that rated Sokoto State as the poorest state in the country, maintaining that the ACP project serves as complementary segment of the developmental projects in the state. Chairman Advisory Committee Muhammad Lol Medoki spoke on the importance of the program towards addressing the flights of the vulnerable persons. Sultanate Council, represented by District of Sabon Birnin Sokoto, Sheikh Malami Machido, appreciated the efforts of government, saying that such will impact positively on the lives of less privileged persons. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
Academic Staff Union of Universities, Usman Danfodio University Sokoto branch, students and some civil society organizations have staged a protest to condemn federal government's attempts to criminalize strikes in the labor sector and casualization of academic staff. Alahato Abdullahi reports.
The Special Congress and protest, which held simultaneously across the Federation, drew members of ASU, labor unions, students, and some stakeholders as an attempt to express their sadness over federal government's failure to fulfill the 2009 agreement, the no work, no pay policy, and payment of October half salary to university lecturers, among others. Chairman ASU, Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, Professor Muhammad Nuruddin Al-Mustafa said the protest is to enlighten Nigerians Nigerians, most especially students and their guardians. Professor Nuruddin said ASU is strongly against any move by government to criminalize strike action, which is the only option for Nigerian workers to seek for their demands.
The aim of this is to inject adequate funds necessary for making our universities to have access to best equipment, laboratories that will make them globally competitive.
NLC Chairman Sokoto State, represented by Comrade Saidu Yakubu, reaffirmed Labour Union's commitment in the struggle and their readiness to support ASU until government do the needful. Other speakers advocated for more enlightenment on ASU demands in the interest of Nigerian students and the education sector. ASU chairman Odo's letter led the protest to the office of the Vice Chancellor, where they presented their protest letter for onward presentation to President Muhammadu Buhari. Receiving the letter on behalf of Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of administration, Professor Ibrahim Magawata, appealed to government to have a listening ear to ASU's demands. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Well, that ends our news package for today. Don't forget, you can follow this news broadcast and any of the social media handles displayed on your screen. Nationwide continues with Jummai in Abuja. Thank you.
Thank you, Nana Aisha. The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembas, has commended the partnership between StarTimes and the NTA, particularly in the actualization of the digital switchover. This was at the 2022 Chinese Film Festival and screening of the movie Moon Man, powered by the Chinese Embassy in partnership with NTA Star TV network StarTimes. Abdul Salam Jibril reports.
The relationship between China and Nigeria largely focuses on bilateral trade and technological exchanges. There are other areas too. One of such is in cultural diplomacy that has ensured cultural exchanges between both countries. This movie screening seeks to further strengthen ties between both countries, as well as realize the huge cooperation potential in the film industry.
From what we have seen today, it's talking about technology, it's talking also about possibilities, and I think by and large what we have seen is the level that the Chinese has attained in technology, and there is much for us to copy from.
I think the entertainment is most important, and it shows a lot of Chinese culture and how the Chinese guys are living and how they entertain. So I think this is a kind of mutual exchange.
In commemoration of the 2022 Chinese Film Festival, the movie The Moon Man will be aired through movie channels on StarTimes and NTA platforms in the coming days. In Abuja, Abdul Salam Jibril, NTA News.
Nigeria's National Commission for Persons with Disability has set up a national security and civil defense disability desk to fulfill the mandate of effective compliance of the provision of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act 2018.
It is the Islam Act that guided the act.
Increasing cases of complaints from persons with disabilities on issues of discrimination is the reason for this gathering. It is a collaboration of stakeholders including the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption, ROLAC, setting up a disability desk for officers of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps to help address the violation of rights of persons with disabilities.
We are sending signals to all potential discriminators who have been discriminating against the rights of persons with disabilities from today henceforth to adjust.
The responsibilities of the desk officers, which among others shall be to ensure adequate protection of the rights
and privileges of citizens with any form of disability.
Sometimes persons with disabilities are assaulted, sometimes they are beaten up because people feel that they cannot defend themselves. So they will have a place, a one-stop desk where they can run to report discrimination.
On our own part, what we have tried to do is to ensure that states that do not have the law against discrimination enact that law.
The National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, alongside its partners, are optimistic that this program will help persons with disabilities desk officers to better integrate persons with disabilities into mainstream social, economic, cultural, and political programs in the country. In Abuja, Gufan Ogwani, NTA News.
Now, all hope is not lost for couples who are struggling to conceive, as Fertility Support Group Africa is providing support to women who have desired to have the fruit of the womb. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim tells us more.
When the woman fails to conceive, the blame game begins with the woman bearing the brunt. In this part of the world, the emphasis is on women. Women are being shamed. They are the ones that are being called upon. Saratu was married for 4 years, and in between, she had a number of miscarriages, ectopic pregnancies, and many medical procedures to assist her conceive. Shy to share her experiences due to stigma, but found solace in an online support group she founded.
So we want to tell the world to stop the stigmatization of women who are trying to conceive. It is not your fault.
IVF is the tail end of the efforts that can be done to help women and husbands when there's a fertility challenge, and I don't think it should be the first choice unless doctors have advised that.
Miraculously, Saratu now has 4 kids of her own and have been supporting families, especially women, going through infertility with education, free fertility treatment, and sponsorship through the Fertility Support Group Africa.
This is to encourage the men as well, because the solution is not to go marry another wife if the first wife is not able to conceive for you. It's equal contribution to infertility.
Saratu and her support group are also advocating against gender-based violence. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
Akwa Ibom State Government has reiterated its commitment to sports development with the inauguration of an Olympic-sized swimming pool in Uyo. The Deputy Governor Moses Ekpo stated this during the opening of swimming events in the ongoing biennial police games in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. John Paul Alumuna reports.